Good morning, good afternoon, whichever geography you are in. This is Pranav Guha Thakurta from EDU TV. Today, we have two young gentlemen from schools and university. We have Mr. Peters, the famous Mr. Sunil Peter, who is a young principal of the famous school, International Indian School, Dammam, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Sir has taught, mentored, guided thousands of students and recruited and placed them in best of the universities in India and abroad. We definitely like to have his advice. And our host is Mr. Abhishek Raman. He's the International Relation Officer of Kalinga Institute of Technology, Bhubaneswar, which is part of KIIT University. I will request Abhishek ji to take advice from Sunil Peter for the passing out 12th graders. Over to you, Abhishek sir.
Yeah, thank you, Pranav. Good afternoon, uh, and thank you, Mr. Peter. I just ask you one thing. I am basically belongs to my university, Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology. We are offering many courses. Those who are students from the maths backgrounds, bio, and arts, and everything we are offering. So I'm just asking one thing. Right now in Saudi Arabia, there is many schools are offering the science and arts and commerce courses. So I just want to know the when the examination and the what kind of the courses the students will be choose, and what is the pattern of the examination, so that we can also connect with the students.
Good morning and good afternoon to all of you. Those who are in India, it is 11 o'clock in Saudi Arabia. Happy to meet the representatives from EDU TV and happy to meet you, Mr. Abhishek, and happy to interact with all of you on behalf of International Indian School, Dammam. And I am grateful to all of you for giving this opportunity. The question that you would like to discuss here is the transition, basically transition from school to university. Now, what that word transition stands for a kind of change. It is really a change a student will undergo. It is really a change the parents will experience. It is really going to be a change that will take place in a family, because it is one of the greatest changes that a person will find, experience, need to adapt during his journey of education, career, etc. Now, these days, we have a lot of options and schools are conducting career fairs. Now, these career fairs are conducted almost at the end of their academic year, be it for 12th graders, be it for 10th graders. It's almost done at the end of the academic year. So rather, I would suggest this should not be something that is only for to be kept at the end of an academic session to make an immediate choice, because I am sure it is a transition that has a lot to do with beyond our grades, our economic factors, our background, students' aptitude, the availability of universities and the opportunities, all this, a whole lot of things the parents discuss and their friends discuss, and the children themselves are discussing these days in the schools while they are students. I would recommend a few factors that will help the students to make the right choice towards a right university for the successful career that is ahead. Because anything that we choose at the age of 18, 20, 21, 25, up to 28, is going to be with us at the age of 16. At the age of 60, after that, we continue with what we have learned, continue that we have been going to do this. So for any students for that matter, for any university for that matter, all that we must focus is to inculcate while emphasizing this change and an attitude of learning in the mind and heart of students. We need to be a constant learner wherever we are, whichever university we choose, whichever career that we choose, whichever subjects that we try to specialize in. We need to be a constant learner, an attitude of learning day by day, because as we transition from school to the university, the subjects are in transition, the world is in transition, the knowledge is in transition, everything is what we come across the transition. So the students should be taught to embrace an attitude of learning no matter where they are, be it in school, be it in universities, be it in their workplaces. Till the end of their life, they should be in search of knowledge and they should be having this attitude of learning. So once we have this attitude of learning, then we are able to cultivate what we call a kind of resilience. Sometimes we have short-term goals, sometimes we have long-term goals. Sometimes our goals we don't achieve. At the same time, difficulties will come, challenging situations will come. We should not be let down because of something that happens. We should not be let down. I would like to become an engineer, but due to certain economic factors, we are not able to become an engineer. I have come across people who wanted to become IPS officers, but due to the death of the father, could not pursue that career. And then suddenly they have to choose another stream altogether, which that has to take you to the end of your life, your family life. So we should be resilient along with a lifelong attitude, because tomorrow what happens, one never knows. You may be the best student, but then there are so many factors that affect our dreams and our aspirations. So we should be always resilient. So students should be taught to be having this attitude of learning coupled with resilience. There can be success, there can be failures, there can be difficulties, there can be challenges. Third factor they should look into is the kind of an integrity wherever we are, whichever university we are, whichever streams that we choose. A character building cannot be neglected. We need to always emphasize students in building their own character along with relationship to their peers, relationship to their staff members, to the teachers, and everyone that come across in your life. Because no matter who you become, if you lack character, if you are unable to relate to your colleagues, your immediate boss, your people who are under you, or people who work along with you, we will not be able to manage. So I would advise, whenever, whichever university we choose, these four things need to be inculcated, be it in the school, be it in the university. This transition, all these changes is phase of life, but these four things will always remain. And it must instigate and inculcate in the life of every child that have an attitude of learning coupled with cultivating resilience. And when it comes to your personality, integrity, character, value relationship, we should always teach children to value relationship, because it is something that is integral. We may know many things, but we are not able to relate to the next person. Then what we have learned over the years will remain with us. It will never become something that is useful. So all these will enable us, a student, to become adaptable to the situation, the changes that is happening, because I am sure the children that they migrate from India to abroad, they come to a lot of struggles. They have to go through a lot of changes, be it in the form of weather conditions, food, culture, everything. From the moment they land there into a couple of years, along with the strain of studies and the stress that they have to undergo, they have to adapt themselves to a different world altogether. They have been well secured in a family where all their needs are asked, checked, and met by parents, family members. Now, all of a sudden, they are exposed to a different country in which they have to take care of themselves. And then along with that, the studies and the challenges that they come across. So children should be taught, along with this choosing their career, they should also be taught to be able to adapt themselves to the situation that is going to come. We adapt ourselves and go to a new country, but we should never forget our roots. Now, these days, what is happening is children who are migrating to Canada, USA, and the XYZ countries out of our own country are reluctant to come back because they get rooted in the new culture, new situation. The students should never get rooted in a new place. They should be more rooted in our own land. They should be able to appreciate the job opportunities that are available in our country. Our career fairs, when we give the universities, when we introduce students to the universities, we must also introduce children to the various opportunities our Indian government is offering. Because many of our students are not aware of what are the possibilities, the way in which they can explore themselves and they can contribute to our society. The final destiny lies in all these things is our own contribution to our own society. So you are a constant learner all through your life. You have adapted themselves to embrace a lifelong learning. Then you have experienced different situations. You have become resilient, be it difficult or easy, challenging, no matter what the situation is all about. You are able to be resilient and you have built up your character. You have learned to relate to people and you have become adaptable and you begin to value your roots. And then at the end of all our journey should be to our own country, to our own motherland, to our own government policies that promotes welfare. Because at the end of our journey of education is to our society. Let's not wait for a chance to make a lot of money and send to a country in terms of famine or making infrastructure. We should be part of that. Let's not wait. That should be inculcated while every university promotes children to higher studies. We should prepare them to come back to our country because we are not getting them uprooted, because we all have our own responsibility to contribute to our own community, society in which we are born to. So this transition comes at what age? Maybe after 20 years. So we have become product of our society for 20 years, and we have a responsibility to serve our nation and be part of our nation. At least we should be able to spend some time, some part of our career doing certain social activities, at least taking up a good job, a role in a non-profit institution, which would eventually contribute to the society for the welfare. So I would advise everyone who comes to school, we have this career fair being conducted every year. We would always tell them, you take our children, but bring back our children to our community. Because that is our trust. We train children for our Indian nation. You have the best of courses, you may have the best of professors, you may have best of infrastructure, everything to inculcate a very good education. But at the end of all this should be our students should be brought back to our own country, wherein they will very, very productively contribute for the welfare and betterment of our society.
Excellent.
This is
sir.
what I have to contribute to, because wherever we may be, at the end of the day, our parents are waiting, our neighbors are waiting, our teachers are waiting, our
Very right.
society is waiting, our community is waiting. Everyone is waiting that we come back with the best of abilities to make our country the best place in the world. So every university that aspires to visit schools in order to mobilize children for higher education should have this motive that we are taking this transition is only to prepare them to be a lifelong learner, prepare them to be resilient, prepare them to be men of good character, prepare them to value relationship, prepare them to adapt to any new situations, and at the same time respecting one's own roots and one's own society. So this should be the aim of every recruitment that we emphasize. This should be the every recruitment or career fair should have this theme that we build a better tomorrow. And this is how we are going to build. And we expose them to better facilities, to better opportunities, so that they will become better citizens of our own country.
Very
That's
right.
what I
Very
have
nice.
to tell you.
Oh, sir, I think I'm impressed. The kind of like advice you have given, and above that, you are. I would like to compliment you, Mr. Peter, that you are an eloquent speaker also.